radical agenda movement in the NBA, RAMINBA.
Members, our people, members of the NBA, already all members of the RAMINBA have been mobilized towards this respect, towards this regard, to put pressure on the leadership of the NBA. Should the leadership remain adamant on the sacrosanctity, so to say, of March 31st. March 31st cannot be sacrosanct. And we are making this demand, making this appeal, and we are saying that if our leaders will not hear, will not concede to the voice of the people, our demand is that no extension, no election. So again, I say good afternoon. I'm making this call to all of us, particularly our leaders, the leadership of Nigerian Bar Association, that there is a compelling, reasonable, cogent necessity for the extension of time within which members will have the opportunity and chance to pay their practicing fees for year 2020. As we all know, for every year, the payment of practicing fees is between January 1 to March 31st of every year. When you pay within this period of time, you are deemed to have paid properly, and all benefits and rights accruing to those who have made such payments will come to you. But as we all know, year 2020, at least this first quarter of year 2020, has been the most extraordinary year. It's a year that has been afflicted and still being afflicted, being ravaged by a pandemic that's never been known before, the coronavirus COVID-19. It has led to the shutting down all over the world of government institutions, paralyzing trade, paralyzing work, affecting economy. Nigeria is no different. In fact, in Nigeria, experts are fearing that if it's not contained properly, it may lead to loss of no less than about 10 million people. It's a situation of war, extremely worrisome. Since last week, some states have been shutting down. Lagos is one of them. Only yesterday, the president of the country, President Buhari, part of his address to the nation was to the fact that for the next 14 days, starting from 11 p.m. today, 30th of March 2020, the states of Lagos and Ogun, as well as the FCT Abuja, would be under curfew, lockdown. What does that mean? It means the situations in these territories will even be more compounded. Incidentally, Lagos State and Abuja, the FCT, has at least by the figures of the NBA, has the largest concentration of legal practitioners in Nigeria. If you are aware of the statistics, 2 of the NBA branches in Lagos, Ikeja and Lagos, as well as the NBA Abuja branch, collected close to 29 million out of the 69 million paid out as 10% of revenue back to the branches, and we have 126 branches. So if you have 126 branches and only 3 branches collected 29 out of 69, that's about close to about 40% of the rest. That the rest have about 60% to share. That means very many lawyers are in these states. The implication is that they will be more affected And as of today, from the field reports of our organization, the Radical Agenda Movement in Nigeria, the NBA portal has shut down. The bank portals, the Access Bank, for people to pay. It's just what has happened. People cannot pay. Before now, in Lagos State, it's been shut down. The courts have been shut down. All over the Federation, the courts have been shut down. That means the income, the earning of our people, of members of the NBA, particularly the advocates, and majority of us are advocates, have been affected. What people are focusing on is how to survive, how to survive this plague, this pandemic. They have to care for themselves, they have to care for their family. People have money, but the focus now is how to provide food and other necessaries for your members of family. So that means we've been affected. And even those who have the money want to pay, many cannot pay. I've had some argument from some cultures but people have been given the opportunity to pay since January 1. With due respect, that argument is not acceptable. The period of payment ordinarily is January 1 to 31st of March. Anybody who pays within that time is qualified. So it means January 1 is as good as 31st of March. This is the truth. But now we have a situation in hands that the country is under a worse situation. What I could possibly liken this to would have been the situation of civil war, 1967 to 1970. A serious displacement of people, of ordinary routine of life. If as it is now, the economy of most of us have been affected, and people cannot pay. We pray God and we believe that maybe by May we'll have stabilized by April. God helping us. We don't have the best of government in the country as at now, but we thank God for the little that we're able to do. And the necessity to shut down is clear to everybody, to contain this situation so that it will not lead to mass hospitalization of the millions of people. The facilities are not there. The facilities are not there. The personnel are not there. So, what do we have? We have this very terrible situation on hand. Will the NBA now still say that nonetheless, because it's in one statute or the other, nonetheless, March 31st remains sacrosanct? Why should it remain sacrosanct? We made earlier broadcasts and statements appealing to the leadership of the Nigerian Bar Association to consider and reconsider their position that, as Hausa people will say, dole, by force, people must pay by March 31st or else they will be at disadvantage. This is a position not acceptable and, with due respect, does not accord to common sense in the circumstances that we are. But for the fact that the guns are not booming and bombs are not exploding, but the reality is that we are in a situation of war. This is it. Even if you take only today and tomorrow as exceptional, this is the truth. The portals are not working by now. Tomorrow is going to be worse. So what's going to happen? Once again, we make an appeal to the leadership of the NBA and we ask our members, our people, members of the NBA, already all members of the RAMINBA have been mobilized towards this respect, towards this regard, to put pressure on the leadership of the NBA. Should the leadership remain adamant on the sacrosanctity, so to say, of March 31st. March 31st cannot be sacrosanct. And we are making this demand, making this appeal, and we are saying that if our leaders will not hear, will not concede to the voice of the people, our demand is that no extension, no election. We are not in doubt about this. It will not be fair for people willing to pay, people struggling to pay, who cannot pay, And you say there's no extension for a situation that is forced on them outside of their control. We all know the principle behind force majeure. And as the Greeks will say, the Latin will say, Deus ex machina. The NBA must not oppress its own people. And as I've noted earlier, laws are made for men and not the other way around. And we are lawyers. And we must start this compassion, empathy for ourselves. RAMINBA is not saying, we are not making this canvassing so that people, whoever will have the benefits of the extension of time must necessarily vote for us. No, that's not the intention, and that can never be. It's a matter of principle. It's a matter of being reasonable. It's a matter of being considerate. It's a matter of being welfaristic. It's a matter of being bentamistic. The rule of law, that's what the NBA is known for, not the oppression of law. Thank you. Spread this message. No extension, no election. Because the election is compromised already in that regard. Because the electorate, the spread of the electorate will be unfairly affected, and that will not be just.